Sometimes when you have a final, you do stupid things. So, watch this video. I've been solving all my trig equations.
What's a trig equation?
It's an equation that involves trig. Jordan, if you want to solve a trig equation, you're going to need a unit circle. And if you don't have one, then you suck. So you're going to take your value and find it on the unit circle, like in radians.
And now you're solving trig equations.
In the middle of an awkward trig equation? Nope, not anymore. Unit circle. It'll never fail you. If you had any friends, then y'all could solve some trig equations, but you don't. So cry for a minute, then solve your own trig equation to study for your final, so you don't fail. Now I'm going to show you some examples I made.
So you have 2 cosine theta minus the square root of 3 equal to 0, and you treat cosine theta like a variable. Next you add the square root of 3 to both sides and isolate cosine theta and divide each side by 2. What you're left with is cosine theta equal to the square root of 3 over 2, and you find the value on your unit circle. The cosines of 30 and 360 degrees is equal to the square root of 3 over 2 according to our unit circle. So you take the radian of each degree, which is pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6, and slap on a 2 pi k. And now you're solving trig equations.
So in this example, we have to solve sine x plus 2 sine x cosine x, which is equal to 0. The first thing you've got to do is factor out a sine x, because it is the greatest common factor. Next, you set each factor to 0, and isolate your variable to find it on the unit circle to solve this trig equation. So sine x is equal to 0, and you've got to find it on the unit circle. So x is equal to 0, pi, and 2 pi. Then you solve for the other solution. Subtract 1 from each side, then divide by 2, and cosine x is equal to negative 1/2. Then you use your unit circle to find the solutions, which are 2 pi over 3 and 4 pi over 3. Now to account for all solutions, you better slap on a 2 pi k. And now we're solving trig equations.
For this trig equation, you're going to have to use your trig identities to solve this trig equation. So the first thing we do is set the equation to 0 by subtracting 4 from both sides. Then you use the double angle identity to replace cosine 2x, and now everything is in sine, and simplify. Then you add 3 to both sides, and divide each side by 4, and square them. The result is sine x equal to plus or minus the square root of 3 over 2. Now find that on your unit circle. The radians you get are pi over 3, 2 pi over 3, 4 pi over 3, and 5 pi over 3. And add 2 pi. And now we're solving trig equations.
So now let's review. When you're solving a trig equation with sine and cosine, don't forget to add 2 pi k. But if you're using tangent, you only add pi k.
Sometimes you have to factor, and you have a couple options. So use the magic number, the GCF, or guess and check. Then you set each part to 0 and solve for your variable to get your answer to solve your trig equation.
If you have a trig equation with sine, cosine, and tangent, use your identities to change everything to sine or cosine.
And now you can solve trig equations.